What it do, y'all? Inky Man on the scene making that green. Hey, yo, I'm out here doing that door dashing thing. One half of the door dash do, Inky boy. Listen, I just did a dash, right? People call it the dash. I'm trying to get the dash. And one of the thing is, they wanted to have the stuff delivered to their rooms, and we can't do that. We can't, per policy, we can't go to their rooms. So they have to come down and meet us. This person absolutely refused to come downstairs and get their stuff and tried to get me to put it on it. They even wanted me to get on the elevator and get onto their floor and put it in front of the elevator at a popular hotel out here to know. So they canceled the order. So what happened? It ain't nothing but a grab bag of groovy goodies. Do you understand? America. Let's get this money. What up, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy. Happy Monday, you suckers. Hope you had a great weekend. Hope you had a great Easter. I know I had a great All Good Friday because guess what? Even though it was supposed to happen on Friday, it happened on Saturday morning. My granddaughter was born. Yeah. So that makes me a grandfather of two. My oldest has a daughter, my middle has a daughter. Now I'm waiting for the youngest. No rush. I know she's not rushing. No rush. Still gotta, get into that good grandpa role, that grandpa 5.0 role. You know what I mean? Gotta get up there and get up to speed. So that was me for this weekend. As you may know, I'm doing a fundraiser too, so I've been kind of focusing on that as well. But to not put myself in the spirit of the fundraiser, I've been working on, I've been just pins and needles, you know what I mean? Like, I'm out here in Vegas. My daughter's in DC, the middle one is in DC, and the oldest one, who's in Connecticut, went to DC to be with her and her baby father. I should say the father, not baby daddy stuff. That he's not the baby daddy, he's the father. So it's I wanted to be there because I was there for my first grandchild. I wasn't there while she was being born. It was just after, but I was there in the hospital. And at that time, like I had to go through a lot to get to that. You know what I mean? But to try to get to it this time was way beyond what I was able to control. So I'll see her as soon as possible. But I'm a grandpa too. So today is going to be, as usual on Mondays, today is Motivational Monday. And I want to get into the Stepford Wives. So, and ride with me on this. So the Stepford Wives was a book that was actually written, let me see where I did the research. It's a book that was written by Ira Levine back in 1972. And the book is basically, in a nutshell, a woman goes into a fictitious town of Stepford, Connecticut, which it's home. It's a fictional town. There ain't no Stepford in Connecticut, but this Stepford, Connecticut, the wives of Stepford all do the same thing. They're very beautiful. They're almost robot-like. They all have the same, frame of mind as far as being submissive to their husband. And so the main character in the story, from my understanding, because I didn't see the movie, I just did the research here. And again, ride with me so you'll see why this is a Motivation Monday thing. So Point of the story is all the wives did the same thing. And from my understanding, the point of the book is to point out feminism, all right? Because these women were all doing the same thing. They were, basic housewives, cooking, cleaning, making sure the place looked good, meanwhile maintaining a very beautiful look, And meanwhile, the men of the town were doing whatever they wanted, from my understanding. And they all belonged to this particular club that was in Stepford, Connecticut. So the main character, who is a woman who is not involved in this, but is in this city, she sees this, and she's questioning it, and she's trying to get to the bottom of it. Apparently, when she got there, she went with some friends who had the same mind. For the most part, the women were all successful and free-thinking women, and then this particular character, her friends, all became more and more Stepford, and they started to give up the idea of, freedom and not freedom, but individuality. They're there for the purpose of their husband. Now, why do I say that? Go, Google that, and I tagged a couple of film buffs on here who can feel free to comment below and correct me if I said anything wrong as far as the Stepford Wives. But the reason, the point of today's show and the motivation for today's show is the Stepford Wives of today. All right? Now, in the case of the Stepford Wives, again, it was about a woman who had feminist views, power to women, that kind of girl power thing. She's in a city where that's not the case. All right. Now, let's bring it to now. And I'm coming off the top of my head. I got some notes here, but I'm coming off the top of my head as far as how to make this connection. And I got some graphs, some visuals in the whole nine. So in that, you fast forward today, it's kind of reversed, but it almost has the same connotations. Let me show you some pictures, all right? And the point I'm trying to prove is how in the Stepford Wife category of the women looking the same. Check this out. Now, for the most part, this is where everyone is trying to look like the Kardashians, right? But if you break it down, it breaks down to these three. These three are pretty much the prototype of what everyone is trying to look like. Let me show you exactly what I mean. I didn't get the name of the model in this picture, as I'm sure somebody knows, but look, this is who she looks like, right? That pouty lips, those eyelashes, right? And wait a minute, because I don't have Caitlyn Jenner in there, right? Because Caitlyn Jenner is also a prototype of a look that people are trying to achieve. Check this out. This is Caitlyn Jenner, right? Now, how come Caitlyn Jenner looks like this person, who I didn't even write the name down, right? But do you see that prototype look? Now look at these. All right, the girl on the bottom left looks like Kim. The one in the middle looks almost like Khloe and Kris Jenner. Even Madonna tried, but no, she kind of missed the mark on that one. I think that's fair to say. Now, not being racial, but being truthful, there was a time that this was plastic surgery, Botox, things like that, was things only wealthy white women did, right? Not even all white women, just wealthy, rich, white women did this. And then it became fashionable to my community. Now look at this. Right in here, Lil' Kim looks a little like Joan Rivers when she was going through it. Right here, she looks a little like Kim Kardashian, Khloe, and Kris Jenner. Here's that prototype again, huh? Caitlyn Jenner, that prototype. Are y'all seeing what I'm saying?
I think so, but when you gonna get to the Motivation Monday? What's all this got to do with Motivation Monday?
Well, let me drive it on home. There seems to be a culture of people being creative. There's this plastic, even men are doing it. I just seen something the other day where men are getting fillers, getting their chest done, and getting their abs done. They're getting their extensions done. They're having a bald spot and getting hair put on with waves carved into it. We already see people spray painting their hairlines and stuff like that. That's about 80% of the shows on BET. The characters is doing that. You know what I'm saying? So there seems to be this, and I think it has to do with the fact that we all have cameras, right? But there seems to be this acceptance of plastic surgery and Botox and stuff. And there was a time where that was frowned upon, which is why it was only rich white women that were doing it. You understand? I mean, or I should say, at that time when rich white women were doing it, that was something you knew they did because nobody else was doing it. But now, that's not the case. That is not the case. It's acceptable to not look like what you were born to be. And I don't understand what that is. But I tell you what it is doing. It's bringing a lot of people with low self-esteem. You're hearing the term body shaming, body dysmorphia. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that as a disease until the last maybe 10 years. 10 years ago, I found out. I've heard that phrase. And actually seen people experience that. And it's a self-esteem issue. They're not comfortable with their bodies to an extreme, even if their body looks good. You know? This is all that. This is what that is. Now, I'm bringing the Kardashians in, but I'm bringing the Kardashians in more as a model. Plastic surgery's been around for a long time. But I think that with them, because now look, if you see the original pictures of the Kardashian girls back in just when their hair was real long and they really looked ethnic, compared to now, you know what I'm talking about. And some of you do, and some of you are going to have to Google it and see the point I'm trying to make. They seem to be what people of all races that are doing lifts and things like that, they're going for that look. And if they're not going for that look, then I'll say, or if better yet, if the Kardashians aren't the ones that created that look because it's just general plastic surgery, face fillers, Botox, and that kind of thing, then they popularized it. And so you look at people. What made me make the show is this. I'm out doing a DoorDash, and I went to this one house, and the house was magnificent. Beautiful place. And when I got to the door, the person wanted me to hand them the order. So when I knocked on the door, this girl came out, and she had big, giant boobs that were obviously fake. She had a fake shape. The butt was, you know. Here's the thing. And it was, let's point this out before y'all start getting all stupid. I wasn't trying to look, but when you're facing somebody and you're talking, you have to see everything. Okay, so let's just put that out there. So she had these humongous boobs. I'm seeing her from the front. Yeah, I can see her butt. Okay, from the front. You remember there was a song, the Badonk Donk song, and all that about that. Then she had these big lips that were like similar to how Chloe has her thing, and she had this little dog that she was holding, and she was opening the door. Nice woman. She didn't say anything disrespectful. I'm just bringing her up as an example that when I seen her, I remember thinking to myself, she looked like Little Kim, but she's a white woman. Now people can look, you know, like each other and have a different color, but my thing was, there is this look that the women are going for that I just pointed out, that women are going for to deem themselves to look good in today's society. And to me, they're Stepford wives because they're all about that beauty in that case. But now, the feminism part. You have these rappers that are showing their ass and titties and they're rapping about the power of the P and all this other stuff, right? And if that's what you do, that's what you do. I'm not knocking it. But the thing that they'll use as a reason for them doing it is they'll bring in feminism. You know, the power of the P and girl power and things like that. I have no problem with that. Anybody's trying to empower themselves, I have no problem with that. That's what the show is about. But when you make something, if you can't go to a place of business, church, or some conservative area, and you can't dress a certain way there, if you can't find that you can dress, how am I trying to say it? Because see, somebody will have something. Okay, let me just be off the cuff. If you can't face your parents or your grandparents with the outfit you're wearing, if you're ashamed of that, or you just don't do it because you call it being out of respect, then what are you doing to us? What are you doing to us? You understand what I'm saying? Does that make sense to you? Are you riding with me on that one? So the motivation part is, listen, be you. Men and women, be you. You can try all you want to look like someone who's successful in this, that, and the third, and you're thinking maybe if you look like that, act like that, you'll be successful too. But the people who are successful are the individual people. The people who make something of themselves and move on and carry themselves in the way that they choose to and write their own rules. Understand that they are the only one of one. You are the only one of one. So all this other stuff that you singing, stop. Because you don't know the backstory. You just don't. You don't know. You know, people are getting plastic surgery and butts are exploding, titties are exploding, people are getting sick. You know? You don't know the backstory. But there's only one of you. And that alone makes you beautiful. Understand what I'm saying there? And with that, happy Monday, you suckers. Happy Motivation Monday. Hopefully that motivated you to get your week on. Y'all be good. Later.